Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Bajan and this is my account SoCal Expeditions. Before we jump into the video, I really encourage you to hit that red subscribe button to stay up to date with all the latest videos, as well as give this video a thumbs up. I have tips in here that's going to help you out, especially if you're installing it in a Tacoma, so just take the second to help me out as well. I did things a little differently. I wanted to install the diesel heater in my bed, as well as it be an all-in-one unit because I'm really lazy and I didn't want to assemble a box or put it in a box. And the third thing, I wanted to make sure that it was quiet. I have it running in the background right now. You can probably hear it ticking, but once I kind of put everything in place and put the cover on it, it is dead silent almost. So that was really important to me, and I gotta share those tips with you guys right now. Let's jump into it. If you are like me and you like just changing things out for no reason, you can start with the fuel line. The fuel line is one of the most annoying parts on the heater because it's a hard nylon that comes with it. I went and switched it out for some small engine fuel line that I bought at Home Depot. I think this was like $4. And it worked extremely well. This is just extra that I carry now just in case anything happens. Second thing I went and bought are new clamps. These are so much easier than the ones that come with the heater, so highly recommend these as well. Alright, let's talk about the exhaust. This part was the most difficult thing for me. Now I'm running mine out the bed cubby and down and out the truck. You can see there's heat wrap on it too. We're going to touch on that as well. One thing to note is that they're different quality and grade exhaust. Let's talk about those right now. Here's the first one that comes with it, the stock exhaust. Now this is great if you're building it in a box that's going to be always set outside, but this is way too short to be ran out the bed cubby and under the truck. So this doesn't work. Then we're gonna have this. These are the 200 centimeter piece of junk exhaust that you can find on eBay. Like, this thing just deteriorated on itself and then it broke and sliced my finger open. I highly do not recommend this piece of junk. Third, the Webasto style, easy to work with, easy bending, nice exhaust. Now this is a spare section. I bought these in 100 centimeter increments or lengths, and I bought 2 of them, so this is just a spare one. However, please look at how easy this bends. The other ones do not bend this easy. I highly recommend this. I will put a link for this in the description. Second thing we're going to touch on is the heater wrap. Here it is. This is exhaust wrap or header wrap. Sorry, I think I said heater wrap. Benefit to using this is that it's already formed for you. All you do is slip it over the exhaust itself and you're good to go. Or you can sit there and wrap it yourself and it would take freaking forever. It's totally up to you. I would highly recommend using my tips and advice and just buying this instead. I was able to get 4 wraps over the exhaust, and I was touching the exhaust earlier while I was running on full blast, and honestly it wasn't that hot. Just make sure you wear gloves, long sleeve, jacket, parka, poncho, everything to cover yourself from the fiberglass getting inside of your skin, because it sucks. I dealt with it for a couple days. I was just trying to itch myself and scratch it out, and I realized that you're not supposed to do that. Anyways, this stuff is awesome. This is what you want to use. You may need to go buy some more stuff. I totally can't predict what your install is going to go like or how it's going to be, so I can't tell you what you need, but Home Depot is your playground. Just go there and you'll find something that's going to work for you. Let's talk about the tank positioning. This is really important to make sure you drain out all the fuel as you're using your diesel heater. Why we need to angle the tank. Part where the fuel gets picked up and goes to the fuel pump is way down here, but fuel can still go below it. When it goes below it, that means you're not going to pick up any of the fuel. You're going to lose about 1 liter. So when we angle the tank, for me, I put 2 wood blocks here and only 1 wood block here, and bam, look, the tank is angled and it's gonna drain more fuel than it would if it wasn't angled. Something to keep in mind. It makes your life really easy. And again, when I went to mount this stuff, I just used wooden blocks, screwed it down into the base plate. Don't go crazy. You don't need to be all sophisticated. I tried to overdo it. I just realized simpler the better. Next thing to talk about, you guys can see I have this shiny silver thing. Now this is just insulation as well as something that I can put on the base plate to make sure that nothing ever catches on fire. I got 2 layers of this stacked upon each other, and it comes with an adhesive back, so you can just slap it on the base plate and you're good to go, or you can slap it on the bed, whatever you want to do. I would just recommend putting this underneath where your exhaust is running, just in case any mishaps happen. So last thing we gotta do is vent the fuel cap. Now the problem is since it's gonna be in the camper itself, I don't want the vent of diesel coming out in here. I don't want those fumes in here. Plus, I don't want it leaking in here. Now this cap just leaks diesel everywhere, and it's not from splashing around, but it's from the venting process itself. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drill a hole and I'm gonna tap it. I'll take a line and I'll run it over here and then all the way out the side in this little gap that I have right here. I'll run it so when I close the tailgate, it fits just fine. That way I'm venting the diesel outside, as well as the tank being able to expand and contract depending on altitude changes. I'll give you guys a final look at the exhaust in the next video, but here is what I have right now. I'm gonna be mounting it right above here and just tapping it out of the way, as well as keeping it somewhere where it's not touching anything else. Now here's a look at the exhaust coming out of the bed cubby and down. One thing you notice is that there's not many places to mount the exhaust. I mean, you can mount it back here. It's probably the only place that I can see that would be normal, but at that point I'm just using the extra exhaust line that I bought that I would rather return and get $30-something back. So instead, I'm just gonna mount it right over here and call it a day. If you're going to install it straight to a deep cycle battery or something like that, please make sure you add an inline fuse. I ran mine to my Blue Sea fuse panel, so I have a 15 amp fuse that is protecting the line itself. So this draws about 8 to 10 amps on startup and close down or shut down. So make sure you get a fuse. Probably 15 amps is more than enough. Last thing I can say is make sure you loop your fuel pump around a cable tie like this. Here's the fuel pump down here. Here it is on a zip tie, touching absolutely nothing, barely touching the case. It is so much quieter like this than when it's hard mounted with a bolt. Let's take a look at the pros and cons of the diesel heater. First impressions, I'm a really big fan of it, but there are a couple cons. First, it uses a lot of battery. 8 to 10 amps on startup is a lot, then it settles down to around 3 to 4 amps when it's on high, and on low it's about 0.7 amps. Low is not a lot, but high and startup definitely draw a lot of power. That's going to be a problem for a lot of people. You're going to need to either buy one of those Goal Zero or Jackeries, or figure out a solar system, or have a 100 amp hour deep cycle battery with you at all times. There's a lot of different ways to get around that, but it does add up. Second con that I can talk about is you're gonna have to buy either a new fuel line or an exhaust, or just make a bunch of trips to Home Depot. It's not like a Mr. Buddy where you just screw on a propane tank and you're good to go. You're gonna have to make it work for your situation. Now the pros of the heater most definitely outweigh the cons. First pro is I built it into its own space, and you can do the same too. Or if you want to build it in a box itself like a Pelican case or an Apache one from Harbor Freight, you are more than welcome to do that because it will work. Second thing, I have this nice little LCD controller here telling me what's happening. I can adjust very easily the amount of heat output that I want, if I want it to blow at a faster hertz or slower. And third is no condensation. Fourth, no carbon monoxide. Things that I do not like are now gone. And I would honestly rather have to deal with filling up diesel over filling up propane. That's gonna be it for this video. It's gonna be short, sweet, talking about the diesel heater. I really encourage you to take a look at this unit if you're someone who likes winter camping and you don't want to deal with a Mr. Buddy. Please like, subscribe, and stay tuned for the next video where I take this thing camping through the Mojave Road. Take care, guys. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out. So I got the exhaust mounted up. I wanted to show you guys how I went ahead and did that. This is the normal L bracket it comes with. This wasn't gonna work for me. I didn't want the muffler sideways. So instead I used a conduit U bracket. You can find this at Home Depot. I actually found this in one of the toolboxes in my house. And then just a self-tapping screw up in the muffler. And it's connected to a piece that holds this plastic trim in, which is also tapped into the lower part of the rear bedside. Now, second thing to talk about really quickly is gonna be this barb. Now, to vent the fuel tank, I wanted to make sure that I was not getting any diesel smell in the truck. So what I'm going to do is I'll tap the fuel cap with this barb and then run a line out the truck, and that should be good, and that'll take care of it.